The Wolfed Man, a play adapted from the book Just Sayings, A Truthless Mouthful by the Baron Wagsword's Tailbutt. No dark and stormy night this. In fact, it's afternoon, but no less dark for that. A murky haze envelops all the light, confounds the sight, and makes a night of fog. The struggling sun declines the western sky as falls the curtain of descending dusk. Its saving beams are buried in refraction, reflecting self on self, confusingly confounded so, the mirrored light blinds sight, riddles the seeing, and robs the scene of sense. Throughout this muffling sea of dampened air wave sudden sounds and cries of who knows what. Their unknown sources to the anxious ear at first bring wonder, then suspicious thoughts, fast followed by a gripping fear, and then by all ills that fearful thought engenders, until your grip is altogether lost. What's missed in mist might well be safe enough, but I'm just saying, might also be a wolf, or worse. So please remember when you hear something that bumps tonight, that in this fog things may be closer than they sound, too close. Through this impenetrable light-garbling obfuscation, the limousine carrying young Harry Tailbutt and his bride-to-be, Betty Getzer, speeds toward fabled Wolf Manderley, the Tailbutt family seat. Harry, at odds with his odder father, the Baron Wagsword Tailbutt, is returning home, having lived away for several years, working as a less than successful dog catcher. One day, in a desperate effort to meet his quota, he visited a local pet shop. There, he met Betty, who was interested in buying lovebirds. After a little light shopping and a lot of heavy petting, they realized it was more than puppy love and decided to get hitched. Though Harry was sheepishly cowed by the prospect, Betty, eager to see the famous Tailbutt estate and meet his estranged father before the wedding, dogged him into making the journey. And so now Harry and his lassie come home.
Driver, please, slow down. How can you see where you're going in this pea soup?
Pea soup? That's disgusting. I hate to think what sandwich goes with that.
Oh, Harry, you know I mean the fog.
I'm sorry, dear. This nasty fog is affecting my brain. Where does it come from?
Harry, please make him slow down. It's scaring the sandwich out of me.
Mr. Ed, if that really is your name.
It ain't. That's Ed, with 2 D's, spelled D-E-D. The first D is silent.
Of course, you wouldn't want to be pronounced dead, which we all may well be if you don't slow down.
But don't over-edify my name. That D's still there. And around here, not hearing what's there could be deadly.
Of course. 2 D's then.
Just be glad it's not 3 D's or I'd really be in your face. Tell you what, just call me Norton.
No silent letters?
You have my word, for all it's worth, if it's worth it.
Okay, Norton then. I beg you to please slow down. You're upsetting my Betty. I don't want to wreck before our honeymoon.
That usually comes after.
You can't possibly see where you're going. This fog is impenetrable. Didn't you hear the narrator?
Don't need to see. Believe me, I know this road like it knows me. For your information, this here's a super highway, and it's a fast one. It gets you where you wants you to go before you know it, whether you know it or not, or wants to.
Sounds like you're getting ahead of yourself, overdriving your lights.
Light's no good in this light gobbling fog. The confounded sun's giving us the shaft. Didn't you hear the narrator?
What are you two talking about?
She didn't hear the narrator.
Please, Harry, make him slow down. I'm starting to pixelate at the rate this bit's going.
Norton, will you slow down this car? Give me a break! This speed is asking for a crash under any condition, and in this fog...
In this fog, Mr. Tailbutt, it's more dangerous you two being out on the road after dark.
If we don't get to Wolf Manderley before... I'm just saying, there's a full moon tonight, you know. Well, you can take it from me. There'll be more out there in that fog than doesn't meet the eye.
You can fog bank on it.
If you catch my drift.
Drop the drift and slow down, please. Thank you. Sorry to be so sharp with you, but this homecoming isn't easy for me. My father's always been a kook, but now they say he's twice as bad, a total cuckoo. We never got along. He was always short with me. I'm not sure why. His ways are mysterious. No one knows his next move. Some things don't add up, and when I subtract the remainder, divisions multiply. Nothing makes sense.
I don't know what you mean.
That's what I mean.
What?
Nothing means anything.
That doesn't make sense.
Nothing makes sense. That's what I mean. It's been like that since I got here. Things don't look like they used to. It doesn't feel the same. Where did all this creepy fog come from? We never had that before.
Dry ice. You remember the Cold Comfort Corporation?
Sure. Big business and a bull market. Just about everybody around here worked there.
Their assets froze. They had to close the plant. They dumped all that steamy dry ice in the bog over there.
Don't you mean bog?
Maybe. Made life pretty miserable for folks around here. There wasn't a dry ice, so to speak, for miles around. In the old days, business was booming. Then bang, she went bust. Townsfolk seem to think your old man had something to do with it.
Don't know. Just saying.
You mean my father's behind this?
Your dad's behind everything around here, and usually in front of it too. The Baron knows everything. He runs everything. When it comes to power, pressure, and persuasion, he wrote the book. A few toughnecks are still get-out-of-both who contend that he's ruthless, a real dog. But most, after reflection, see it different.
I'm sorry, I'm with the toughnecks. He always seemed like he was up to something. He's been a cruel joker to me all my life. No one understands him. I suspect he's mad.
Mad? A joker? I've read some of his books. There's no joke.
But you're the punchline.
I feel more like the butt.
The hairy tailbutt, for sure.
Surely, when you were a child, he must have cared for you. It must have been grand growing up here, the son of a baron.
To the ill manner born. The Baron took care of him, all right.
Actually, I don't remember much of it, and the further back I go, the fuzzier my memories grow. I do remember I called him Pop, and he called me Pup. Oh well. Now I've been away for a couple of years. Maybe things have changed. I hope so.
I hope so too. I so want your father to like me and approve of our marriage. Are we getting close? It will be so nice to get out of this chilly fog. I imagine Wolf Manderley has grand fireplaces.
Yes, dear, huge ones. One big enough for 3 men to walk around in. Maybe 4. It's a hell of a house. I can't say I'm on fire to get there, but I really want to get you out of this cold damp. It's strange. That mist the bog puts out. It looks fake, like an old horror movie, not like real bog fog.
We call it blog flog.
Are the L's some kind of local dialect?
Maybe?
But there's no L's in those words.
But they're not silent, are they? It's what I'm calling elevated language. The telling's not always in the spelling. The saying may be off, but the sense is letter perfect. And around here, hearing what's not there can be deadly.
How vice reversible, my dear Mr. 2Ds.
What was that?
It's just a hoot owl, Betty.
Or it might be a wolf.
Wolves can't hoot. You're loopy.
Maybe not the wolves you know, but some wolves are wily.
You're loony too. Nonsense. Coyotes are wily, but they don't hoot any more than wolves do.
How much is that? What do wolves do, Mr. Tailbutt?
They prowl and growl and they howl.
I rest my case. There's a lot of owl in wolves, especially werewolves.
Werewolves?
Everybody knows it.
Who?
Lots of people.
Who?
Take it easy. You're starting to sound like a werewolf.
There are no such things as werewolves.
Oh, yeah? Did you ever hear an owl growl?
Of course not.
Maybe not your screech, your barn, or your great horny owl, but maybe a were owl, though. You'll find wolf scrambled in fowl, and owl is 3/4 wolf.
Whatever you say, Nort. You've made your sense, now lie in it.
Harry, are we there yet?
I don't think so. It sounds like we're getting nowhere.
Where are we, Mr.
Just call me Norton. You're virtually there.
Where?
Wolf Manderley.
What do you mean, virtually? Aren't we really there?
You're apt to be, but I'm just the driver.
Oh, Harry, are we or not?
We're on the road to Wolf Manderley. I've been round this bend. I've turned into it before.
I can't believe we're finally there, and here we are.
That's what they mean by here and there.
No, they don't.
It's what I mean.
Oh, Harry, what a magnificent old manor house. It must be centuries old.
Some parts are even older, like the kennels, but that's in dog years. I never thought we'd get here. I don't know how we made it. Oh, wait a minute.
What are you doing over there?
Gathering rosebuds while I may, my love. With affection and apologies for that hard drive.
You'd have crashed if not for Norton.
Oh, Harry, a bouquet for me. But they're definitely not roses.
No, it's all I could find. There used to be roses over there. Things have changed. This stuff is everywhere.
It's sweet of you. They don't smell very nice. What are they?
Wolfbane.
Wolfbane?
It's in bloom.
A nice thought, Harry, but please take them away. They smell like a wet dog.
Here, ma'am. Give them to me. I'll find a use for them. Out of your sight, out of your mind in them.
That may be a problem. It's everywhere. Edging the walks, framing the door, even up there in the window boxes.
You folks better get inside. It's getting dark, and that's a honey of a full moon rising.
Where? How can you see the moon in this fog?
Up there in the bloomin' front window. Or should I say, rear window.
Son of a hitch. It's Pop. Don't look, Betty.
Oh!
She looked.
That's a full moon, all right.
That's the Baron?
He's a baron, all right.
Oh, you really don't get along with your father, do you?
We have our differences.
Looks like he's airing his right now.
There's always been a crack in our relationship, but I never thought he'd stoop so low.
Cheeky old gent he is. Well, I hate to leave all this behind, but wolfbane bloomin', full moon loomin'. I'm out of here. When your dad hired me to pick you guys up at the station, do a little moonlighting, I had no idea what he was aiming. But I've got to get back to the carnival anyway. Special attraction, tonight only. You should try to get by. It's something to see, and for you it's free. Wouldn't cost you a wooden nickel. Just ask for the Artful Carney. Norton. That's me. But take care on the way. They say there's wolves about. Likely a pack of lies. Some say werewolves were spotted. Spotted werewolves are the worst kind, they say.
Who?
Lots of folks.
Who?
There he goes again. I'm out of here.
Oh, Harry, did you hear that? It might be a...
I don't give a hoot for these silly werewolf notions. Nobody used to talk about things like that around here when I was a kid. I thought people gave up these old wives' tales long before I was born.
Well, I'd like to be an old wife someday, Harry. Let's get inside.
Here goes. For better or worse, my love.
Hurry, Harry. Harry, hurry. Try the door. Oh, it's getting closer. Oh, you're the only wolf I want to see tonight.
Rough. It's locked. Hey, we know you're in there. We caught you with your pants down.
Master Harry, is that you?
It's Snivelton, our old family detainer. Yes, Snivelton, it's me, Harry. Surely you knew I was bringing my fiancée to meet Pop.
Who's at the door, Snivelton? Is it the wolf?
It's Harry.
That sounds like the wolf.
No, Baron Tailbutt. I believe it's your estranged son, Harry.
Detain the pup a little more, Snivelton, then show him in so I can show him up.
Yes, sir. Are you out there, Master Harry?
I'm about to be out with you, Snivs. Open this door. We're cold and wet, and I'm afraid there's something nasty stalking about out here.
I'm afraid there's something nasty stalking about in here, sir. I fear you will encounter the Baron's bad side.
We already have.
Open this door, Snivels. You wouldn't send a night out on a dog like this.
I'm sorry, Master Harry. This door is not functional. You'll have to use the other one.
What other door?
Lower your eyes and your self-esteem.
Look, Harry. There's a pet entrance.
Yes, a doggy door. Your father had it installed just for you.
This is stupid.
You'll have to be stupid to get through it.
Ow.
What about me? You don't expect me to...
Wait just a doggone minute. You said the door wasn't functional.
Well, the funk is finished. Now the shutting's done. May I take your cape, Miss Getzer? What a lovely shade of red. Oh, and it has a hood. For riding, I suppose.
Oh, what a ride. Yes, red's been my favorite color since I was little.
Somehow I thought so, madam. I'll just hang it here in the closet, next to Grandma's bloody nightgown. Baron Tailbutt has booked you for tea in the library. I'd ask you to walk this way, but it takes years of practice. Just follow me. If I followed you, who knows where we'd wind up.
Now that we're here, I'm not so sure I want to meet the Baron face to face.
You'll agree it's better than the alternative.
This is the Hall of Mirrors.
But there are no mirrors. It's more like a picture gallery. And all the pictures are the same. Are they a portrait?
Yes, of the Baron. He's usually the only one to come through here. At least the only one that counts. And guess who's doing the counting? When it comes to mirror images, the Baron's policy is to each his own. The Baron's own, that is. Others may not see it that way, but that's no reflection on them.
Oh, wait a minute. What's this? This one's different. It looks like a circus dog walking on its hind legs.
It's all the same. Remember, it's a mirror. That dog's been turned around. And here we are. Your son, Harry Flower Tailbutt, and his bride-to-be, Miss Betty Getzer.
Crawling back to your old pup?
That doggy door is a new trick.
And you thought I couldn't learn one. Well, son, when life closes a door, it puts an ass in the window. I'm just saying. Be glad you're not chained on the lawn, Junior. Like to never got him housebroke. You must forgive my little backward gestures of revenge. You did run out on me, and just when I'd lost your mother. I found her a week later, but all the same. Things haven't been easy in these parts, especially this elbow and that knee. Oh, and if you could see my prostate.
I think we almost did.
Since Cold Comfort collapsed, the townspeople have been hostile. They think I had something to do with its downfall. More like windfall. I made millions on the deal, and now they're revolting, but then weren't they always? So they lost their assets in the bargain. That's what wolves of Wall Street do. I'm just saying.
This is a beautiful library. So many books.
Over 1,000 volumes. I'm afraid I take a lot of shelvish pride in it.
But they're all the same.
From cover to cover, but you can't tell a book by its cover. It's different when it's an open bookcase closed.
They've all the same title. Just Sayings, a Truthless Mouthful.
Yes, I wrote them all at once at one time. It's all that ever was on earth and all ye need to know, in my mumbled opinion. So whichever book you choose, you can believe everything you read in this library. In this library, whether it's true or not, you can believe it. It's composed entirely of finely grounded ficts.
Ficts?
Yes, facts are a thing of the past. Fict is the present tense of fact, a tense present admittedly, and I can't even say the perfect participle in polite company. Fict, fact, forget it. At any rate, facts don't work anymore, so I fixed them and made up ficts.
Sounds pretty fishy. I'm not biting.
Don't shun my ficts, Harry. It's likely you're one of them.
Tea, sir.
Oh, that sounds delightful. It's so cold and damp.
Oh, no, ma'am. Just brewed and piping hot.
I think we'd prefer cups, Snivels.
Cups indeed, sir. The pipe was a mere sham.
This tea tastes funny.
I've been hoping for something funny.
I'm not sure I care for it. What kind of tea is this?
Wolfbane.
Wolfbane?
It's in bloom.
It smells like a wet dog.
Hair of the dog that bit you.
Wolfbane's got a bit of a bite, but they say it grows hair.
A cure for baldness.
Not exactly. They say it'll put hair on your chest and other places.
Now I'm sure I don't care for it. No, thank you.
Never mind, it's almost dinner time. Take it away, Snivelton, and lay the table.
The table, sir?
For dinner, Snivelton.
Oh, of course, sir.
So, you wrote all these books?
Once upon a time, yes.
But they're all the same.
Consequently, unlike in other libraries, they are all correct. But just because they're all alike doesn't mean they're all the same.
Is that a fact?
No, son, it's a fict. If it were a fact, they would be all the same, and you'd be done with number one. But with ficts, things don't get real till you're through number two. By the end, you're in deep and full of it.
But they're all the same. Word for word.
Grow up, pup. Words aren't just forwards. Sometimes they're backwards or even up, sideways, downwards. And they're certainly not always the same. It depends on the reader. After reading my first book, the reader's not the same, and consequently the words are not the same. The second book won't seem like the first, nor the third be like the second. It's never the same. You can't go tome again. Read that somewhere.
I prefer illiteracy at the moment.
The first book you read is a silly fairy tale. The ficts are unheard of and absurd. You laugh a lot. In the second book, contempt breeds familiarity, and familiarity dulls absurdity. You laugh less. By the third book, the known ficts aren't fooling. You're now well-read and of serious opinion. You laugh little. After a few more books, the far-fetched ficts have fetched you. You know it all now, and you think you always did. The ficts are now facts, and you're forget it. The last laugh has been had along with you.
That's all very interesting, but what's the book about?
About 200 pages.
No, what does it mean?
It means you can put your foot in the same mouth twice.
Put that book down, Betty. It's dangerous.
Oh, this is just the first one, the funny one. Just listen to this from the chapter, Weird People Through History, Truth or Faction. The unexamined life is probably nothing worth seeing, but can be fun in the dark. Attributed to Crocetes, who lived in the 5th X century of the Uncommon Era. I think I've heard about him somewhere. Many believe Crocetes drank Hammond Hawlock, a potion containing what the ancient geeks called loopwort, a flowering plant with a distinct stink, whereupon he exclaimed, "By the dog, I'm weird," went wolf and became a fuzzy logician. It seems far-fetched, but sort of makes sense, if you don't sort it out.
The first misrule of ficts. The seamier seems the unseemly, the more seamless seems the sense.
Betty, don't read any more of that silliness. Pop, is this book about werewolves?
As a matter of fict, Pop, it's largely about werewolves. Werewolves are something of a seasonal thing around here, you know. Every year about this time, the woods are full of them, hooting and howling. Every year, around this time, when the carnival's in town. That carnival shows up just about this time every year, even though people are afraid to leave the house in wolf season, much less go to a show. Makes you wonder how they stay in business?
Maybe all those woodsy werewolves have a taste for carnivals. They are carnivorous, you know. This is ridiculous. Contemptible nonsense. Another of your ficts, I suppose. Well, I don't believe a word of any of it.
That isn't necessary just yet.
Betty, stop reading that book before it's too late.
But it's so fearfully funny. According to excretion theory, although an original thinker, Darwin was a loser whose specious thinking never evolved. Naturally, he selected primates, missing our link to canines. This in spite of his voyage on the Beagle. You've got to admit, it's beginning to make perfect nonsense.
Betty, put that book down. Now! Pop, how can you write this stuff? I'm sure you've never seen a werewolf.
Have to? Once at the movies. I was clawed once. Still hurts when it rains.
The pain of that one's universal anyway.
You're getting the picture. I'm not just crying wolf. Here's an ancient rhyme I just made up. Even a guy who thinks he's smart and keeps his horse before his cart can find himself turned wolf once more when wolfbane blooms at his front door, whose backward flower red spells doom when mirrored in a looming moon.
What's that supposed to mean?
How should I know? Probably nothing. So you tell me. I've heard nothing make sense to you.
Betty, drop that book right now.
It's just getting seriously interesting.
The ficts are becoming facts.
Drop it, Betty, before you're
Dinner is served in the trophy room. A trophy for everyone till they're all gone.
Great. I'm hungry as a... Well, I'm hungry.
What a beautiful room. And the furniture. These chairs are stunning and they look so comfortable.
All the better to seat you with, my dear. Harry, you're next to her. Sit, boy, sit.
Stop patting my head, Dad.
I don't care for the animal heads. They're all the same animal. Wolves, aren't they?
Yes, they've all been unpacked and mounted, I suspect by Snivelton the swine, just for this occasion. Happy birthday, pup. There's plenty to eat, so stuff yourself.
But it's not my birthday.
Oh, but it is. According to my kennelder, it's K9th. You're 123 today, in dog years.
What?
I told you he's bent on treating you like one.
More like twisted. What's for dinner, Snivel man?
We were going to start with mock turtle soup, but the turtle got insulted and left boiling mad when we turned up the heat. I've heard it doesn't bother frogs or the otherwise concerned. So on to the main course. Suckling pig, dated dumplings, assorted gullibles, and seasonal salad.
I got a pig apiece for us. A piece of pig per person wouldn't do.
Three little pigs.
They were selling them at the carnival for some reason. It was quite a blow when they tried to tell me they had only 2. That's the last straw, I huffed. You're not going to stick me with just 2, I puffed. Well, I guess you know who's afraid of the big bad Baron. They sent one of the sideshow fellows away for another pig. When he came back on the run with one, apparently stolen, I asked them no questions, they sell me, I buy. You see, I got all 3, each for 1 and 1 for each. Enjoy.
I'm not sure how to eat one of these, especially since I don't have any silverware.
Silver is off the table for you. You might fork yourself fatally.
How am I supposed to eat then?
Just bite the bullet, pup, and wolf your food.
I just can't eat this cute little piggy. Wee, wee, wee. I want to go home.
Our chef, Puck, will make the little brute unrecognizable for you. Take it to Wolfgang, Snivelton. Tell him to slice it nice for the delicate Miss Getzer. I'm sure you'll crave what he carves.
Of course, sir.
Meantime, have some salad, Miss Getzer. It's a specialty this time of year.
Local greens?
Wolfbane.
Wolfbane?
It's in bloom.
It tastes like a wet dog. Ah! Oh, Harry, I don't feel well. I need some air.
I think there's some outside. I'm sorry, Pop. Betty is ill. I'm afraid we must take our leaves.
Box up the salads, Snivelton, and show them out.
Please, don't bother.
No bother.
I'm plenty bothered. Harry, get me out of here. I need fresh air.
It's freshest in the forest. But I wouldn't walk in the woods, would you, Snivelton? They might run into something nasty. Don't you think so, Snivelton?
Does a wolf fart in the woods, sir?
And if it did, would it make a sound?
Like the bark of a falling tree. Silent, but deadly, sir.
Deadly indeed. I raise my glass to you, Snivelton, and to wolves, and a leg up to trees as well. Fetch Wolfgang in here.
Of course, sir. Puck, oh Puck, the Baron wants you at table.
Sit, you old dog, and Puck, admit this feast is your masterpiece, else are you a liar, Call. We've a lot to chew over, so let's dig in and pig out. Too bad my guests couldn't stomach this. They'll be sorry they bolted. I was going to make espresso.
Oh, Harry, I couldn't stand another minute, even sitting down.
Yeah, wolfbane can lead to attacks of worse things than indigestion.
It wasn't the disgusting wolfbane or that platter of poached piglets. It was your father. I think he's quite mad. And the way he treats you.
Dog treats. Did you see that milk bone on my bread plate? I'm glad you came up with coming down with something.
There must be a reason for his beastly behavior toward you. You're in his book, you know. I noticed a chapter titled Harry, My Backward Flower Child. What's that about?
About as crazy as he is. How should I know? My middle name's Flower, but I never knew why, or wanted to. He used to say, "There's a message for you in that name if you look at it right. Think it over." Well, I was overthinking about it years ago. I give up. Maybe I am backward.
No, probably just a sane character in an insane script.
Sane enough not to believe in werewolves anyway.
I think you're very bright, darling. But just like those lights over there, everything looks dim when you're in a fog, and foggy notions are thick around here.
I think those lights are the carnival, sweetheart. Remember Norton, our driver?
Hack drivers and carnival folk make me nervous.
Norton's all right, Betty. Sounds like he's with security. Get with the program. He said there's something special going on over there. And he'll get us in free. What do you say? Shall we go for it?
In the dark? And this dreadful fog? Maybe you're not so bright after all.
It's just fog, sweetheart. Fog can't hurt you.
Uh-huh.
And there's plenty of light. Look at that big old moon.
Uh-huh.
I know a shortcut through the woods.
That's it! Sorry to cut short your shortcut, dear, but I've seen this movie and I don't like the ending.
Oh, come on, my brave girl. You're not afraid of werewolves, are you? Pop and his books are crazy. The only thing we have to fear is weirs on shelves. Come on.
Oh, I do believe in kooks. I do believe in kooks. Okay, Harry, to show you your mad father hasn't taken over my mind, let's go for it. Wander through the woods on a foggy full moon night in a play about wolfmen. What could happen? I'll do it, as sure as my name is Betty Getzer. Wait a minute.
Come on, sweetheart. I'll buy you a hot dog when we get there.
If we get there, no dogs and none of your pop's corn, buttered or not.
It's getting late. Let's go. You see, these woods are perfectly safe. It's all quite peaceful and so quiet.
Excessively quiet.
Well, that didn't last long, did it?
What was that?
I was going to say an owl.
Don't.
Well, a howl then.
How will we get out of these woods alive? That's what I'd like to know.
Just keep going. We're almost there.
Harry, do you hear those bushes rustling?
Let's get our tushes hustling.
It's right behind us. It's getting closer. Too close.
Don't turn around, Betty.
Ah!
She turned around.
Look, Harry. It's our driver, Mr. Ed.
Please, call me Norton, the Artful Carney. There's a honey of a moon out tonight.
Yeah, but no werewolves, right?
I wouldn't say that. I just had a close shave.
No werewolf, though.
Could have been a bear. I came face to face with him.
You faced a bear?
Would I lie to you about bear facing?
Sounds possible somehow. So you say these woods are full of bears and werewolves?
Werewolves, probably. Bears, definitely. Don't step in that.
Well, that answers one question anyway.
We better get moving. The carnival's just ahead. See those lights up there?
The fog is so thick. I see the lights moving around, but I can't make out what's going on.
That's the Ferris wheel and the merry-go-round. When we get there, I'll see you get a free ride on them. Or maybe on the Troller Boaster. It's a real fast one. A shill a minute. And here we are. Welcome to my lot.
There's a lot of it.
But there's nobody here.
Nonsense. You're here, and for a good time, I expect.
Harry, what's going on? His voice is so strange. He sounds like a different person.
For my part, I haven't been myself since this thing started.
None of us have, actually. There's a lot of play here and little direction. Just stay in the moment and on with the show. I'm out of chicken and caviar, but here's a big cigar.
What kind is it? It's so green.
Need a light?
Doesn't everybody at this point?
Will it get me high?
It could raise your suspicions.
You don't mean...
Wolfbane.
Wolfbane?
It's in blue.
Ugh! It smells like a wet dog. It's got to go, Harry. Put it out!
I'm sorry, Norton, but the smoke is pretty smelly.
No probe.
You never know up where it's been blown.
But let me show you around. This is our big tent.
My, it's huge. Big enough to hold all kinds of people.
If you've a mind to.
I can't even see the other side.
It's not as broad as we'd like to make you believe.
This is more like a circus than a carnival or fair.
Sometimes a circus, but never fair. I did the rigging myself. I make the trap easy for the flying canards. They may be old, but they'll make you look up and sometimes duck.
I also work the web in their net, which is wide as your wide eye can see.
It catches all their foes. Nothing slips through. And there's a lot of false. What say we get on to the midway? I'll show you my booth.
You have a booth, too?
In truth, it's not a booth, just a wheel and a deal.
It came on down to me when the barker got run over.
No consequences, and the price was right. Hurry, 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 lady and gentlemen. You bet your life as I spin the reel of misfortunes just for you.
So now what happens? How do we know who won?
You don't, but it keeps you guessing, and that's how I win.
I can see how people might be suckered.
From the every minute they're born, they wait for the duck to come down, but the word remains a secret, and that's the secret to spinning the reel.
But
Let's get on to the menagerie tent. I used to work there.
You don't anymore?
It wasn't well run. Some animals are too different to house together. My job was the elephant, but it was always being groped by blind men who came to see it. The poor perturbed pachyderm couldn't handle it and refused to move. No one could budge it. Its bulking bulk got in everyone's way. So we got the unstable beast a stablemate, a little donkey. But the donkey was driven to distraction by kids wanting free rides. Well, the beleaguered burro went bonkers and started neighing and kicking the elephant. The elephant went mad and elected to trumpet, which the big cats and little monkeys couldn't abide and joined in the jarring racket. That, like a cacophonous jam, spread through the ill-bred zoo. Meantime, as you'd think, things piled up. When they handed me a shovel, shove it, I said, and took a job at the slideshow over there. Let's go there now, before the rowdy ruckus resumes.
Don't you mean sideshow?
Maybe? Who are you? Mispronunciation of Artful?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ed. It's that L thing again. I didn't mean to be rude.
Don't call me Mr. Ed.
Oh dear. I seem to be making a series of mistakes.
And it's the wrong series, too. Never mind. Here we are. Now for the first exhibit. Behold, the incredible invisible man.
Where is he? I don't see anyone.
And there it is. Ta-da!
But how do we know he's there?
Because he's nowhere else. I can assure you.
Could you have him say something?
Certainly. He is a double wonder. He is also the incredible, inaudible man. Hoaxley will now recite Ode to Yahuti by Anonymous. That's your cue, Hoaxley.
Wow. I didn't hear a thing.
And there you are. Ta-da!
This is unheard of. Out of sight. But I'm still not sure. I'd like to shake his hand.
Another wonder. He's also the incredible shrinking man. He shrinks from all physical contact.
I wonder, could he effect something special, like throwing a chair or riding a bicycle?
Physical contact with anything.
That's dumbfounding.
You could say that.
Well, I'm convinced you have an answer for everything.
I can't argue with that. It's so incredible. How could anyone resist believing it?
The next exhibit is over there. Go ahead. I'll be right behind you.
Goodbye, Hoaxley.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Harry, I think Hoaxley just pinched my bum.
Yeah, I thought I felt him pull my leg.
Enough, Hoaxley. Make yourself scarcer, if possible. It's all right. I'm keeping a close eye on him. Our next exhibit is the Flat Lady. She awaits you over there.
He must mean Fat Lady. They've always been a big attraction in sideshows.
No, Flat Lady. Watch your step. You're walking on her.
Oh!
No harm done. She's pretty rugged.
Now this is impossible. It can't be on the level.
She's a rare phenomenon involving assorted scientific spoofs.
Of course.
And unidentifiable crying aliens of the nerd kind.
They are documented.
Even to me, she is plain amazing.
Oh, you flatter me. It's something to do with up and down quarks, with a quirky physics that's hard to swallow, and a quack theory that can't be understood to be believed.
What?
Why believe things you can understand? In my well-grounded view, belief is for things you can't understand. Things you want but can't explain. Things you fear but don't know why. And some things just for fun because they are crazy. Look at me, down here, where nothing's up my sleeve and nothing is beneath me. They say that the seeing's as good as believing, but can you believe your bad eyes? You may or may not, but for fun you have got to come round to believe that I am what I seem, as sure as I'm flat out lying here.
Well, she's got a point, and some good lines.
But no depth.
She's sensible on the surface, but lacking a dimension makes her too delusional. I'm afraid this act is going to have to fold.
It's always been marginal anyway. Goodbye, my dear Flora. Let's get on to the special attraction I told you about. We only have it briefly once a month. Stop this way. We keep this exhibit at a distance from the others, for reasons which shall become oblivious.
How far out is it?
Pretty far out. I think you'll find it quite enlightening. Your father has arranged a special viewing just for you, Harry.
Pops had a hand in this? You two are in cahoots?
For a very long time, pup.
I'm scared, Harry. That's why there's no one else here.
You see, Baron Tailbutt bought the carnival many years ago. He had just come into quite a bit of money. The ice business was leaving him high and dry, so he dumped it for a load of cool cash. The fog from the bogs made a dense smokescreen to hide the deal from the unemployed polloi. The carnival was also for a distraction. Free admission for everyone, but it still makes a fortune on the concessions once they're taken in.
Harry, I think we should leave. Right now.
No, you shouldn't. His father had more than money in mind when he bought the carnival.
It came with something to unleash his grand design and preserve his legacy. How many of his book, Just Sayings, have you read?
None. Not one, doggammit.
Maybe you are backward.
I flipped through one.
Most don't flip till they've tried the fifth, the one titled Just Sayings.
Just like the first.
You're just guessing, and only the second guessing at best. Did you notice the last chapter in the table of discontents?
I don't think so. I saw the one about Harry and the flower.
Sounds like you're getting ahead of yourself, overdriving your lights. So, you must have read more than you think. Most people think less than they read, so you can't believe everything they think. The last chapter is Carnival Carnivorous. Man bites dog at last.
What's that supposed to mean?
How should I know? I used to know it meant nothing, but now I'm on book 6, the one called Just Saying, and now nothing means anything. So anything could be something, and something worth knowing for all that I know.
How much farther is this? I don't feel like we're getting anywhere.
I just wanted you to know that last chapter's about Pup here. How he was raised by wolves.
Wolves?
It happens.
I've heard it does, but...
More often than you think. People love the stories. But frankly, the wolves are getting tired of them.
They're not the only ones.
Have you visited the kennels at Wolfmander's?
Wolves?
No, owls. But that's another experiment. He thinks a lot of wolves. Maybe too much. The wolves are in the conservatory with Colonel Mustard and the candlestick.
Just stick to the story.
Your father has always wanted to return you to your noble origins, or as he so tenderly put it, send the bastard back where he came from.
You mean I was a foundling?
Sort of a lost foundling. He lost an infant son while trying to ignore him in the flower garden.
So that's where my middle name came from.
No, has nothing to do with it. But a few years later, they found an unkempt toddler toddling there in that same garden, and a she-wolf watching from the wolfbane.
Wolfbane?
It was in bloom. Well, everyone just assumed. And just between you and me, you know how that goes.
But the Baron was sure you were who you were, whoever you were, whether you were or not.
So what happened next?
That's when the Baron went balmy. He became obsessed, experimenting with wolves and humans and everything in between. Always with an end of sending you back to the pack and even the species. Ah, here we are, at last, the very last. Please enter and be amazed.
Oh, Harry, don't go in there.
Behind this curtain, the ultimate offspring of your father's genius, the spawn of his dogged devotion to sending you back. The mystery finally solved, the quest neatly completed, the last word worked, the finish line crossed and dotted.
Are we there yet? Please, let us see what's behind the curtain.
With the twist of the ending, I give you what your inquiring mind has wanted to know. Dog Boy, the Wanderveer.
It's horrible. It's hideous. I won't look. I looked.
I think he's best in show, and his hair is perfect.
Fabricated entirely of superhighway roadkill and held together with faux cloth and worsted half-truths, animated by alternating current events and a secret lack of solution decomposed of lie, cocky pop, and of course, wolfbane, when it's in bloom.
He is weird.
Yes, your father weirded him well and wolfed him proper. The first synthetic werewolf. He made him up just for you, in a way. He's your brother, Mr. Tailbutt. Literally speaking, of course.
I see a lot of myself in him.
There's no resemblance. No resemblance to anything.
I haven't felt myself since I came home. May I pet him?
If the pet agrees. I'm not sure he will, but go ahead.
Ah, he bit me. Ooh, right in the pentagram. What's happening to me? What am I turning into?
Selfishly into all that you can be, a true tailbutt.
Myself!
Oh, Harry! You're Harry! Ah!
Mist or fog? Just saying. Who knows? Just saying. And that's a truthless mouthful. Now you see that said just for saying, words become worthless, senselessly echoing nonsense and mischief, hiding what's happening, both proofless and truthless, telling you nothing and making you mad. And so at last it comes to pass that Harry's tale comes to an end. His fate was cruel, alack, alas, but yours is worse, I fear, dear friend, for here we leave you sadly hanging, and after grueling punishment, naughty bits and forehead banging, our hapless story only meant to leave you this loose end, to wrap around your craning neck and take a leap of faith for fun, and shuffling off this unfull deck, confess the jokers you undone. As reason's rope contracts to stretch your neck as far as reaching jokes, go find the last gag we held back. The flower's message is no hoax. Paternal order to his son is hidden in the name he gave. Perhaps it's meant for everyone, but take it and you'll misbehave. With words a little start to fiddle, seize the middle, spin the riddle, at the end you'll find the start. Absurdity, inanity, consistent inconsistency, insanity, profanity, coherent incoherency. These at work can wreck your day, but still be fun when you're at play. Good night, been a hoot having ya, had a howlin' good time.